today. Thank you. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely splendid. 2,000 birds in a single sale and 7,000 birds in total.
I must admit that some of these happened in my time, in our time, our 8 years in office. Some did happen. But we cannot continue with a vicious cycle of you do me, I do you. There are key governance issues that I believe as a democracy we can focus on to improve on the lives of our people. For instance, on the issue of yesterday, I saw one of my regional chairpersons on just an act of misdemeanor, and he had been handcuffed and being pushed into Black Maria. These are things that I feel we don't need. It's a blot on our democracy. We don't need it. The excesses of institutions where government has to take responsibility.
Consistency. Much earlier I was listening, because I was listening on radio.
That's true.
When he made his initial comments relative to the issues about arrests, detention, refusal of bail, and others. I think his consistency is admirable.
Indeed.
In every society, particularly democratic as we have it, you need gadflies like Kwebu to consistently give the horse a bit of a stink to keep it, moving. What I find troubling is when I listen to people like Godfrey Adame and co. pontificate on due process, the rule of law, among others. Their experience is extremely horrible. It's a past that we should never go back. Because you see, I've always maintained I've been a man, like you say, a man in the arena in some of these matters. And I saw how the law was weaponized to achieve certain outcomes that were extremely troubling. Thankfully, relative to the matters involving Abronye, the government of Ghana has nothing to do with it. If you look at the charge sheet, it has to do with the fact of maybe the IGP and some other issues emanating from that. But what we will not take is moral lessons on how the law should work from the likes of Godfrey Adame and co. I mean, I do not want to go to the past and trying to revive some of this conversation.
Please do. He has to be punished
to revive some of this conversation. But you see, Martin's advocacy on the issues of bail, to the point of even going to the Supreme Court, particularly following the decision in Goldman, where more or less the court took a position that bail for certain offense is non-bailable and others. And getting the same court to intervene again to say that, you know what, we think with the benefit of hindsight, all offenses should be bailable. Unless, of course, the bail conditions and others. I remember vividly, there was a guy, and I'll tell you the story. There was a guy who was my party member. Then he had done a video. And in the video had, made certain comments against IGP Dampare. And the Minister of Interior, what's the name? The last Minister of Interior, Henry Quarty. Quickly, they issued a statement for his arrest and declared him wanted. So, as usual, Director Legal there, I was approached. Then I said, look, on these matters, you are better off going to the police than being arrested. At least when you get arrested, it affects your bail application and others. So I spoke to the family that wherever he is, he should be allowed to go to, and got him a lawyer. The guy went to the police and they arrested him and detained him.
Enipa we ya oseme muanu enisa mebuani wia enti obeyi maye enti obekan me abrabom fiti ase eye nipa ene bo nipa obi anso seye eye nipa and the same nipa. I had them do some more be a bit to be an. Menyamini unkari. Bisase, a rather say nipa we ya, what no harbor bommy, and to any papa. And nipa we ya, some one, and some body we are, and to obey my ye, and to obey me. Abrabom fitiasie, a nipa, and a boy nipa. Obi answer say a nipa, and the same nipa. I had them do some more.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the program. And today is the 15th of September 2025. By the Directive Principles of State Policy, we have another opportunity to meet again. Grab that opportunity and help build Ghana from one state to the other. We will go through the headlines of the papers. I start over the Daily Graphic, and it says Anti-Galamsey Task Force purges and Cobra Bonsa Rivers, 300 structures destroyed, equipment seized. Poultry industry to be self-sufficient in 3 years, President pledges. GREL, that is G-R-E-L, others starved of raw material due to smuggling. Professor Echa Hinijima named Academy of Management Distinguished Scholar. Ghanaian Times. Fear grips Takwa residents. Market stores cave in after blast from mine shaft. And you see the hole that has been created in the ground, obviously. If someone was sitting there, you can imagine what would have happened to the person. But Kumasi shuts down for Asante Hima's burial Thursday. 2020 National Best Farmer to unveil 8 million Ghana cedis cocoa dryer house at Mpataba Kusikrom. Ghana's foremost tech innovator, Apostle Kojo Safo, dead. May so rest in perfect peace. Daily Guide, forgive us our mistakes, Baumia to Ghanaians. We've invested 100 million Ghana cedis in salaries. Heath Goldfield. Abronye judge under fire over animal farm ruling. My arrest politically motivated, Kofi Akpalu. Apostle Kojo Safo Kantanka passes on. The New Crusading Guide, minority demands halt to U.S. deportee deal as Ghana becoming America's dumping ground. Asamankasi bleeds while authorities look on. Royal families cries out over chieftaincy dispute. Fresh concerns raised over attempt sale of Adamus mine. So Gakopper High Court asked to stop alleged trespass on family land in Keta. A silent war. Geoffrey endorses Brian. Hey, I hope he's doing well. The KT Bro Constantine KM Kujeji passes on. And then the top right corner says retraction and apology to TDC boss. The Informer, Abronye out of cage today. After days in remand custody, AG to rescue Unkuf Abronye. Government to end double track with 1 billion Ghana cedis. Ghana's U.S. education tourism. Dr. Ajiman seals groundbreaking partnership. CEOs urges Ghanaians to embrace walking. That's the chief of staff, I mean. And the Daily, sorry, the Herald. Bawumia leaves out Akufo-Addo from MPP's confession list. He disowns responsibility for party's defeat and chaotic state. Goldfields nears Damang mines exit. As Parliament review mining law, Commander Chiefs renew calls for sugar factory revamp. Attorney General moves to secure bail for Abronya today. Jampo others demand stronger container safety measures at global maritime talks. The Daily Statesman, Bawumia eulogizes Apostle Kojo Safo. NDC should never again politicize Galamsey fight. Education Ministry champions local languages for foundational learning. Ghana-US deportation deal unconstitutional, says minority. NPP chairman's continued detention condemned. The Ghanaian publisher, Mahama's deportee deal unconstitutional, minority. Heath Goldfields admits payment delays. Spent 100 million Ghana cedis on salaries. Afenyomakin another slum Abronya judge. Razak Kojopoku PhD petitions Mahama on Ghana's Islamic leadership crisis. Apostle Safo's impact went beyond faith. Bawumia. Daily Post. Government to launch in Nkoko program in October. Children's Support Fund for August 6 helicopter crash victims reaches 6.5 million Ghana cedis. The Economy Times. Global price volatility, cedi fragility threaten Ghana's cocoa revenues. Cedi falls 18.5% from exchange rate low amid assurance of stability. We also have ADB MD pushes for NIBF, says it will empower businesses, stimulate economic growth. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning. We'll take a breather. I'll be back shortly.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit. Happy smile.
Chechi woni nara me din ede baby da pa me dia de sonko kra na ebremo nya ode to aduane mu ama waduane e de pa na me de bremo eno any some spices de e bu wa no bebre o various flavors ubenya eya akoko ubenya nantwie ye de gu jollof mu ma emu ye de ubenya ye de gu nkwan mu ye de gu froye mu ho na kope bito na ema waduane enye de unyimi nia ye nkon ye konko tie nyankofo eka.
Autant de communication, we all enjoy Uduba, the Samu spices. One in the essence, no time. I think it's Dariaga. Samu spices in a Sabi, Daddy so say. Samu spices, Moon Samu.
Samu spices, Yama chicken.
Samu spices.
Sanaka in Kitwa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, can jollof, and the flavors of Bebre.
Samu spices, yes, Saka.
FDRJ Jadian Kratoyatum.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be later?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Go be the luckiest, go be from Georgia be luckiest, from not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be lucky, luckiest. Nobody know why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God up boom. If you put it toy, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Everywhere.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream. And this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments. And dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer my calls, Alvaro. I haven't heard anything from you. I've sent you so many messages, but you've never responded.
Have you left the bus station?
I just want to pay my debt and get out of here. Her photographs are going to sell fast, and she will be our gold mine. Our clients will love those.
Are you looking for a boyfriend? Are you all right?
You Are the One is proudly sponsored by The Luckiest, Appointed Time Printing, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Samu Spices, and Givers Herbal Center.
All right, welcome back to the program. Welcome back to the program. And I just want to welcome Beatrice Annan Esquire. She is a member of the NDC communications team and a staffer at the presidency. She's joined us here in the studio. Beatrice Annan, welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning.
How are
I'm
you?
happy to be here. I'm very good.
You're good. You're good. Okay. I didn't see you. I was at the presidency joining Meet the Press. I didn't see you around.
Yes. I was engaged in other assignments, so I couldn't make it.
Okay. All right. We're also expecting Larati Musa Saka, who is also a member of the NPP communications team. She's not joined us yet, but as and when, definitely we'll introduce her. Now, the matter in court that has gotten almost everybody interested, including the two main political parties, or the two main leading political parties, the NPP, the NDC, speak about the judiciary and what is happening with the judiciary. I think for the first time in a long while, for the first time in a long time, the two parties seem to be agreeing, to something, to a particular decision taken by the courts. And the agreement is on the fact that the decision that was taken by the judge on the Abronya DC's case is faulty. They both agree. So I have a program attended by both the minority leader and lawyers from the NDC side as well, and some, stakeholders. They've all spoken to the matter. Let's take a listen. I think also a point made by His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo when he was a president about, the decisions by the courts, and also Afenyo Makin, who was seen making a complaint to some international community about the government's posture in handling criminal issues or non-criminal issues, or what he described as misdemeanors and all that. Let's take a listen to those opinions, and then we'll come back into the studio.
On the issue of the arrest of party functionaries, I think that I agree with you totally that the decision of the trial court judge, especially in the Abronya case, defies every logic and every legal principles that I have come into contact with as a young lawyer. That point must be made. That decision, when I read it last night, I was embarrassed by that decision, especially as a government spokesperson. I simply it didn't just sit well with me. I tried to look for justification behind such a decision, but I simply couldn't. But this is why I disagree with leader. Many of you in your social studies class, you know the difference when it comes to separation of powers and the different arms of government. The judiciary is on its own. The executive is on its own. The legislature is on its own. And this government promised a reset. It may be difficult for many of you to agree that we are not interfering when it comes to the functions of the judiciary. But I can tell you with all sincerity and certainty, based on where I sit, that we are doing everything within our power not to interfere when it comes to the functions of the judiciary and how they go about their judgments. And so this judgment that was released yesterday is nothing but a poor decision emanating from one of our arms of government, which is the judiciary. The very reason why the National Democratic Congress, under His Excellency President John Evans Atta Mills, made a promise in opposition to reset the judiciary. And if you read the judgment fully, you see, we are having to deal with the effects of the bad political interventions of the last regime. In 8 months, we may not be able to cure all that, but we are doing our best. And this judgment is one of the effects of the last 8 years. If you read the judgment, the same judge alluded to the fact that in 2023, he remanded an NDC activist for insulting Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as president of the Republic of Ghana. That same judge. And many of us in the NDC then condemned him for that action. It is that same judge who remanded the Wound Milk presenter. I'm sure you guys have read it. So in his mind, what he did, and he was hailed under Nana Addo, he can be forgiven to think that this government will also hail him. So when I read the judgment, I saw it more as self-serving agenda to force down a consistency narrative down our throats to defend. And that is not why the NDC won power. The NDC did not win power to continue the perpetuation of illegality as far as our law courts are concerned. So my dear brothers and sisters, like leader said, the judgment is bad, but when you read it or you hear them make commentary about it in the media, remind them that these are still the negative legacies of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's join up.
To sustain democracy is to ensure that institutions work, and they work for the good of all. So yesterday, a judge receives Aboronye in his court. Earlier in the week, the police go to him. The prosecutor says to the judge, I want you to remand him till Friday. Then he also granted. Yesterday we were in court. This is what the judge said. Listen to him. He's a judge. Listen to him. He says, quote, accused person before the court is facing 2 charges of misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is a lesser offense, an offense that means nothing, really. If you are convicted, it's a fine, then you go home. This is important. It says, however, in this instant case, the court will not look at only the charges being misdemeanor, but will extend it to the position of the IGP to the country. That is the head of the police service. The words which came from the accused person is likely to put the security of the nation into disrepute. Then he goes further to worsen the matter. He says, it is always said that all persons are equal are equal persons, but in practice, it is not so. Then he quotes George Orwell's satire, The Animal Farm. One of the commandments is that all men are equal, but some are equal than others. Translated into this case, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others. This is what the judge said. To remand Aboronye into custody again. If you are a judge and you're remanding somebody into custody, what you are basically saying is that if the person is granted bail, he may not come to court for trial, or he would interfere in the investigation. The judge did not say this in his ruling.
I must admit that some of these things happened in my time, in our time, our 8 years in office. Some did happen. But we cannot continue with a vicious cycle of you do me, I do you. There are key governance issues that I believe as a democracy, we can focus on to improve on the lives of our people. For instance, on the issue of this yesterday, I saw one of my regional chairpersons on just an act of misdemeanor, and he had been handcuffed and being pushed into Black Maria. These are things that I feel we don't need. It's a blot on our democracy. We don't need it. The excesses of institutions where government has to take responsibility.
Right. Are you concerned about protest movements? We've seen a lot of protests. Some activists were arrested, put in jail. The opposition is saying you're trying to stifle dissent.
I'm not responsible for jailing people in Ghana. The courts in Ghana are independent institutions, and they have been all through this period of the Fourth Republic. People misconduct themselves and they're brought before court. It's for the court to deal with them. That's not a matter.
It has nothing to do about politics.
It has nothing to do with the executive. And their behavior is what lands them in problem with the police and with the courts. It's not the protests. How can the president, who himself, his political career was aided by leading protests, have problems with protests? I don't have problems with protests, and nothing is done in Ghana to protest.
Right. Are you concerned about protest movements? We've seen a lot of protests. Some activists were arrested, put in jail. The opposition is saying you're trying to stifle dissent.
I'm not responsible for jailing people in Ghana. The courts in Ghana are independent institutions, and they have been all through this period of the Fourth Republic. People misconduct themselves and they're brought before court. It's for the court to deal with them. That's not a matter.
It has nothing to do about politics.
It has nothing to do with the executive. And their behavior is what lands them in problem with the police and with the courts. It's not the protests. How can the president, who himself, his political career was aided by leading protests, have problems with protests? I don't have problems with protests, and nothing is.
Welcome back to the program. Right, let me introduce Lara to Musa Saka. She's joined us in the studio. Lara, you're welcome. It's been a while.
Yeah, good morning.
I hope you're fine.
I'm good. I'm alive.
Okay, I know what happened, so
it's okay.
Sorry about that.
I'm alive.
Yeah, you're alive. We thank God for your life.
That's the most important thing.
Why? What happened?
You're welcome back. He was engaged in. Am I permitted to? He was engaged in an accident.
She was involved.
Involved in an accident. Yes.
Otherwise, it's deliberate.
Yes. Yes. You're right.
Oh.
Apologies. She was involved in an accident, and you know she was actually with her kids at the time.
Oh, so sorry. But she's looking too fine for someone.
For me to have said that she's involved in an accident.
Yeah, she's looking too fine. She's looking even more beautiful in opposition than in government. I think maybe opposition is very good for her. She looks very relaxed and calm.
You won't say anything.
We wish you.
It's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time.
We wish you a speedy recovery.
It's a matter of time.
That what?
Come again.
It's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time that the positions will change.
Yeah.
So
why are you talking like
we are resting now.
Why are you talking like we haven't been in opposition before?
We are resting now.
Why is it a bad thing to be in opposition?
They should fix the country.
Oh yeah, we are fixing the country. I think that. Yes, that's
and fulfill their promises. That's the most important thing. As for me looking good or not, it doesn't affect.
I can't even compliment
it doesn't affect the price of fish.
Hey, I can't even compliment you. Hey, the opposition will be harder than I imagined.
Let me say of this engagement. Anyway, so let's start off from the courts. Definitely, let me pick from Daily Guide. Daily Guide says that Abronye judge under fire over Animal Farm ruling. And this is how Daily Guide goes about it. The decision by the Circuit Court in Accra to rely on George Orwell's Animal Farm while remanding the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, Kwabena Bafo, popularly known as Abronye DC, for another week has drawn wild criticisms from all quarters, with some calling it illogical and unfortunate. The court presided over by His Honor Samuel Bright Aqua last Friday rejected all pleas by lawyers for Abronye for him to be granted. I've just remembered something funny, but let me continue reading. Abronye for him to be granted bail pending trial, rejecting all the assurances that the accused is not a flight risk and will therefore avail himself for trial. Instead of relying on the constitutional and case law to back his ruling, the judge's decision to quote Animal Farm, a book which preaches inequality, did not help matters, forcing many to question his intentions and whether he should continue to sit in a case. So, quote, it is always said that all persons are equal, but the practice is not so. But in practice, it is not so. Courtesy George Orwell, in his book, The Animal Farm, one of the commandments is that all men are equal, but some are equal than others. Translated into this case, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others. Uncle, the judge, who is by law expected to uphold equality, said in his ruling while denying the accused bail. All right, I'll end it here. Other papers have different, captions for this particular matter, but we'll go straight. The inquisitor says that after days in remand custody, AG to rescue Ankuf Abronye. So we're told that today, of course, they'll be in court, and then we'll see how Abronye out of cage today. That's the informal capturing it. How is the AG going to handle this matter as they go to court? We'll follow through and bring updates. But for now, lawyer Bichizana, and I'll start off with you. I know that you've also, most of your people in your party have taken a position on the decisions by the courts on this particular case. Let's hear you, and then I've played some videos as well representing some of your opinions of some lawyers from your party.
Yeah, good morning once again to our viewers. And I want to say that when we normally come on TV, or when we prefer an opinion on national issues, sometimes we do not do so because it's entirely political. We do so because, and at least I can speak for myself, because we believe that when you don't speak up against the wrongs of society, on the day you find yourself in a way that puts you in a certain difficult position, you probably would even suffer more than the people who had suffered before you. And so when we lead certain advocacies, people in power, people within the political class, the general populace should not assume that certain things are so far from them that it can never happen to them. I think that in my life as a private legal practitioner, if you have had an opportunity to represent clients, you come into first hand with how harsh the justice system can be. And sometimes even when it's not harsh, it can be extremely slow. So we have a joke amongst us when something happens, and as lawyers, we say we are not going to court. And because we always play ball in the court, and we know that sometimes your remedy does not necessarily lie in court. I make this point to illustrate or to show something that we are having to come to discuss the issue of Abronye today. And it's amusing, it's quite surprising, because not too long ago, some 8 months down the line, we were told that governments don't put people behind bars. We were told, and you have played the interview of the president. We were told that the Attorney General then was such a lawyer whose jurisprudential argument could win every court case, and that the moment the Attorney General appeared in court, by some divine revelations, there were a lot of legal theories that were revealed to him. So if governments were winning cases, however absurd the decisions were, you should not talk about it. And they are very quick to refer you to, oh, go to court when something happens. And so I was wondering whether Godfred Dame the supremo of all lawyers, could not be present in a circuit court and represent Abronya and make one of the most, I don't know what word to use to describe, one of the deepest jurisprudential arguments for the judge to be carried away so Abronya could be denied bail. That sometimes we agree that the judges don't get the laws right, and that sometimes you need to criticize them. I say this thing, and it's a bit, it's a bit, it's not that I'm getting teary, but it's a bit emotional for me that some 8 months down the line, the MPP cannot even stand 1% of the things that everybody was trying to caution them against, that do not interfere with the judiciary, do not call judges like Attorney General was doing, do not have the judiciary at your beck and call as if these people were your children. Do not threaten judges to do your bidding because you had access to political power. Because then when the legislature and the executive fail us, the last resort we have, even guided by our checkered history, is the judiciary. So do not take, we can do our party, NDC, MPP politics here, but do not take it to the bench. They said no, the NDC lawyers were such terrible lawyers. They were losing cases in court and they were winning. So I want someone to tell me why they didn't make some of the most sophisticated jurisprudential arguments, and their most favorite Abronye would be in behind bars. But most importantly, I think it's important for me to make a statement that government does not have a hand in the arrest and the remand of Abronye. I always say that I have the privilege of working with President Mahama. When he comes to the office in the morning, he has very weighty matters on his schedule. As I speak to you today, there are a number of serious meetings on the big push. Tomorrow, he would, cut sort for 2 major projects, one in Afienya, one in Ho. These are the serious issues that President Mahama has, and for that matter, every minister in government. And like Loratu did caution early on, we are in the process of fixing the country that they so led into the abyss. We recognize that there are very germane matters, bread and butter issues. Young people can't find jobs. The discussion is how to expand for young people to find jobs. So in the quarters of government at Jubilee, I can assure you that these are the discussions that take place. Abronya is nobody in the scheme of things for government. If we had anybody to worry about, if government had somebody to, I don't think that anybody will waste their time on someone like Abronya. And I say this also on authority because as of yesterday when I counted, Abronya has insulted President Mahama more than 89 times. And in all those, and that's what I could gather. I can't even repeat one. To the extent that even when President Mahama was in opposition, his lawyer had to petition the CID then on some of the unsavory remarks. We came to power. President Mahama doesn't even have time, to say that I'm going after someone like Abronya. So for which reason government is doing something wrong and somebody will want to roll government into this. This is a man who literally survives on, sometimes in politics people can get harsh, but Abronya's case is not a matter of harshness or excessiveness. It's a matter of pure, I don't know what words to use to describe him so that I don't disrespect our viewers. But so I can give the people of Ghana the assurance that the government of Ghana is not interested in someone like Abronya, and that if we had precious time and we want to go after people in MPP, I don't think that even in the list, in any serious room, in any serious discussion, anybody will mention the name of Abronye. And I'm telling you that on more than 86 different occasions, at the last count yesterday, he has insulted President Mahama. But President Mahama is not interested, government is not interested in somebody like him. And let me tell you, President Mahama has a checkered history of being very generous to his critics. In fact, even in the NDC, many people have a challenge with him because they think he's so kind. You would recall how Manasseh falsely, in ways published the confirmed matter that was never true, the Ford expedition saga. Manasseh practically created a profession by publicizing a lot of false news about President Mahama. He's one of the people who will not shun Manasseh, and Manasseh himself has been saying how generous he's been, even supporting him. His life has never been under threat. You recall A+ in the lead up to the 2016 election. Practically, using words you can't repeat on President Mahama. And there are a number of them, even in MPP, there are a number of them who say things. If you know President Mahama well, if you know the kind of government and the legacy he wants to leave, it will not even click to any reasonable mind that government is interested. But having made that point, if you look at the fact sheets as we have, or the record of proceedings as we have, you would realize that this case is basically about what Abronye is alleged to have said about the Inspector General of Police. And so that was the reason he was taken to court. Now, let me also say that from time immemorial, the Attorney General gives the police what we call a fiat to prosecute cases. And so there are a number of cases. In fact, many criminal cases that take place at either the circuit court or the district court, normally the AGs are not involved. So you have the people we call police prosecutors. And when these police prosecutors are prosecuting some of these cases, or what we call misdemeanors, the AG doesn't interfere. So it's between the police prosecutor and then the defense counsel. In fact, it's the reason why many police officers wanted to go to law school, because indirectly they'll be doing the work of lawyers. So this is being handled by a police prosecutor. And I can also tell you on authority, I have spoken to the Attorney General. He does not have any intention to reduce the judiciary into where an Attorney General will call a judge and say that, do you know what, do this and do that. So the Attorney General would not interfere unless it becomes so necessary that the fiat which is issued is being abused. Then Attorney General can interfere and say that, you know what, I think this is not right in law. But let's also make this point, that the NDC government is setting new standards in protecting the rights of people. Not so long ago, the NPP's Okatachi of Efifa, or I've forgotten if that's his right name, the guy who does the setting the record straight or something, they went to, they petitioned the police that they wanted to demonstrate against Galamsey. Normally in the NPP, for the past 8 years, they'll go to court.
But he didn't do it in the name of the NPP. He did it.
Yes, I'm just saying he's associated with them.
Okay.
Unless they want to deny him. But even if he's not, that's fine. But he wanted to, undertake a protest. Normally, the police will go to court and say that you can't protest. The Attorney General was in court and said that we are not opposed to the protest. Their right to protest should be, and that was a marked departure from what we experienced. So I can assure the people of Ghana that the NDC government is committed to setting some good standards in tandem with democracy. the NDC government is committed to making sure that we right the wrongs of the past, especially when it comes to the liberty of individuals. But having said that, I've heard a lot of people say that the decision of the court in the Abronye case is wrong. I'm sure they use the word decision loosely, but I think that is the reasoning that is wrong. The court has the right to exercise a discretion to deny bail in accordance with Section 965 of what we call the Act 30. So the court can say that on the basis of the facts presented, I think that you should be granted bail or you should not be granted bail. The problem we have is the reasoning of the judge, and I think that that reasoning is not sound in law. And I'm such an advocate of non-custodial centers, and I keep saying it. I have an article on non-custodial centers. So I'm the last person to even say that if we use what in law we call the retributivist theory, then we are trying to meet the expectations of society.
What is that?
Where you punish people because they've done wrong, so that it will deter others, so that there will be some moral justice. So the aim is not for you to be remorseful or to transform. I subscribe to a different ideology, which we call the utilitarian, where punishment is supposed to reform. So the judge could have gone anyway and said that I'm exercising my discretion and denying the bail. But you know what? The judge did something interesting. In the decision, the judge said that, so if you permit me, I'll just read that part. It is the wish of the court that all Ghanaians should try.
Where are you reading from?
The judgment,
the ruling.
Yes.
And
page 9. That will be the 3rd paragraph or the 4th paragraph.
Okay.
One of the code of ethics for judges is that their decisions should be consistent. I have a case before me, the Republic versus Raphael Okai Ankara, who appeared before me on 16th May 2023. And this was an NDC sympathizer who openly, around where he stays, insulted the then president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Addo, and was given 2 weeks remand just to cool down tempers. This is the judiciary the NPP left, where when you insult the president, you will be taken to court and be remanded. The NDC has a history. When John Kuma...
I remember during that time, we even made reference to lawyer Asankuma's statement.
That insulting the president was not an offense and all that. I remember when John Kuma and some other NPP people insulted President Mills and they were arrested. Quickly, President Mills said, I have been insulted. I'm not interested. I am not interested in the case. In a similar vein, we didn't hear that. So this is the judiciary you left. So the man said that, oh, not long ago in 2023, you brought an NDC sympathizer to me and I remanded him for 2 weeks.
Yes, to cool tempers.
In accordance with the Code of Ethics of Judges, and I mean the reason I say I disagree. The judiciary which you left, today an MPP person is before me. I do not see why I should not remand him. So when we talk, and at the time when we were telling the MPP, today it's Abronye, tomorrow it will be another MPP person, and the list will continue.
Let me ask this question legally. If there's a ruling and it becomes like a case study, must every judge of a similar, sitting on a similar case, go by that ruling?
No, you see, in the lower courts, like the circuits and the district courts where this happened, their decisions are not binding. They don't have any effect.
Okay.
It is the moment they make the decision, it ends with them. Nobody can go and quote it and apply it anywhere. So it is not like what we call the superior court of judication. These are lower courts, so they are not binding.
Okay.
But it is the psyche of the judge that I'm interested in.
But in this case, she is the same person that sat on the previous case.
In my own
so
court.
she, even though her case is not binding or her ruling is not binding, she also will feel...
It's her reasoning. That she said, in this my court, you brought an NDC sympathizer not long ago for insulting the president.
And I did.
I remanded the person for 2 weeks. In fact, the case is still ongoing.
But her...
And now...
Okay, but her decision to remand that NDC sympathizer, was it influenced by the government?
No. And that's, you see, and that is why I don't have evidence that it was influenced by the government.
Okay, yeah.
So when we sit and we criticize such a decision, we expect the NPP to agree with us that in law, this decision, like I am in government, I have come to tell you that I disagree with the reasoning of the judge and that it did not make sense, but in accordance with law, he shouldn't have used this route because sometimes the reason is as important as the conclusion. Remanding someone into custody, the judge did nothing wrong. So the decision in itself is not wrong, but the reasoning behind the decision.
That's what has affected the decision.
We are questioning. So we are saying that at the time, when we go to the Supreme Court and you file cases at 11 a.m. and you get decisions by 1 p.m., we say that we expect you to agree with us at the time. You don't come and you defend. They were defending all these things. I have sat on platforms with other people where when they fixed the country, people were remanded for 2 weeks. One of the finest and brilliant lawyers, however, his excesses, Oliver Barker. Oliver Barker has a very, impressive record in Harvard. If you engage Oliver in the debate, oh my God, it is beautiful. You took such a person, remanded him for almost a month, and at the time we kept telling you, do not use the denial of bail as punishment. You kept saying there was nothing wrong with it. The question is, what has changed? And I'm telling you that as a government, we are a government with conscience.
The question at the time
we have
was,
been in
what
opposition
law
and
has
government
been
before.
breached? The question at the time was what law has been breached.
Yes, but even if, you see, bail in itself is not to be used as a punishment, even when any law has been breached. So
has
even
not
where,
been breached.
Even when a law has been breached.
Oh, okay.
So whether it's the offense of murder,
okay,
it's the offense of defilement, whatever, even if it's a first-degree felony, we expect that ordinarily the courts will grant bail. Where the court would deny the bail, the law says that one, the court must be satisfied that the accused person would, while on bail, commit another offense or will not avail himself or can interfere with investigation. So the court could have cited any of these reasons on the basis of the arguments that were advanced in court and said that I'm denying the bail because I think that the accused person has a potential to abscond, or this accused person may interfere with investigation. So I'll deny the bail. So
the reasoning will be
and
sound.
Nobody would have an issue with him. But we are saying that when the NPP was in power, they were so power drunk. Sometimes they were convinced that they would never leave power. The NDC has not said we will not leave power. We are committed to delivering the mandates of the people. But in the course of delivering, when things are wrong, you listen to feedback, you correct it. I've heard a number of the lawyers saying that this decision is wrong. You think the NDC, we don't have people who prepare speaking points and come and sit on TV and be saying the same thing, that we can also find reasons to justify that. But you don't do that because it can be me. And I always tell my male friends, wait until somebody accuses you of rape, which is a first-degree felony, and the court denies you bail. And then you will see, like my mother would say, you will see. Because the justice system already, we have a problem with it. And so you don't, when you are seated in power, you are comfortable. You think that, yes, nobody can arrest me. You justify everything that happened under your regime. even when people were trying to call you to order. I sat on TV and some of their communicators called Oliver Barker, Felicity Nelson, and some of these people who were remanded as hooligans, and said that as hooligans, they deserve to be behind bars, and that even if they will be there for a month while the case, or they justify these things. My question is, what has changed 8 months out of power? It is a brilliant that people are doing. Then in the coming days, you will really be in trouble. Because you don't do that. And I say that government is not involved in this. This is purely a case of the Ghana Police Service, and it's not as if even the complainant is a government official or something. So I would also, on this note, urge the Ghana Police Service. Because if you read the record of proceedings, they said that, oh, we brought him within 48 hours, so we are within law. But I also urge the Ghana Police Service to listen to feedbacks. In building a young democracy, sometimes see some of the excesses that you have. So I urge them to listen to feedbacks. And I also say that I'm an advocate of non-custodial sentence. So on any day, I've always represented accused person. And I mean, while I learned, let me tell you, when we were in opposition as lawyers, NDC lawyers, it's not everything we could even put in the media. Because some of the cases, you were hoping that they could be settled if, I mean, people didn't know about it. I was 8 months, 3 weeks pregnant. And NPP people kept us at police stations until the very last day I delivered. Why? Because of some baseless accusations. And they will keep you and they will show you where power lies. I was on my feet in court doing a contempt case for a student when Sami Jemfi called me that I have been arrested at the studios of UTV. And I didn't know whether to continue my submission and finish or to leave and just pack my bag and go. They did a lot of things. Eric J, small boy, was practically harassed. And at the time, we kept warning you that power is not permanent. Somehow it is transient. It will change. This morning I've heard Larato saying that, yes, power will change. The NDC, that has never been lost on us. We have been in power. We have been out of power. In fact, our president himself was a president before. So he's been there before and has been an opposition leader and is in power. So we know. But they didn't think that power would change. They had national security statistics and data that showed how they were going to rule this country for 32 years. And so forth. No matter what you said, they knew they were not going to leave power. Today, here you are.
Okay.
What is wrong in the past is wrong in the present. But let's not those who justify it in the past make a U-turn. That is the discussion this morning.
Okay. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, I'll allow Laura to also make a submission on what the opinion has been so far, as we're waiting the Attorney General to be in court today over this case. We'll be back shortly.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Think in publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, some more.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, is that you? Improve car. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action. Maybe this Sasso spray. Mr. Femi Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Tum preko.
Healthy soil is where every great harvest begins. At ACAP, we turn waste into wealth, producing rich organic compost made right here in Ghana for our farmers and our future. Whether you are planting small or big, ACAP compost improves your soil, boosts your yields, and saves you money. Even in your own home garden, give your soil life naturally. ACAP compost, from waste to wealth.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey him later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Go be the luckiest, go be from Georgia be luckiest, from not the cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No bugger why you luckiest. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame.
Send your God off boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Everywhere.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Back to the program. We're still in the studio with Beatrice Ananesco and also Laratu Musa Sakashi. We'll take a turn now. Laratu, thank you for staying with us. Right? So
to leave?
Oh no. I mean,
okay.
It's a privilege to have you. So if you have the patience to wait all the time for us to go and look for money and come back.
Rat poison.
We have to be grateful.
Rat poison. I mean,
good
morning.
To wait in grade row.
Good morning. Good morning to you. And say good morning to Beatrice and good morning to our viewers. Before I even go on my submission, Beatrice said something I was wondering. When lawyers say they're on their feet, they're in court, right? Making a submission. So Beatrice was on her feet in court and Samiji Mfi called there. So you can be on your feet in court and excuse the judge and take a call.
Oh, but that doesn't necessarily mean literally she was standing or making
well,
a case. Maybe she was sitting.
So let's
maybe she was sitting.
That's interesting.
No, not
anyway. Annie, I mean, this is quite an interesting discussion, and listening to Beatrice coming from a group of people that promised us a reset, it's quite interesting having her go back to the standards that she said were wrong and citing them as justification for the resets that they promised us. I mean, to quote from Animal Farm, 4 legs good, 2 legs better. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others, right? Today, Animal Farm is being quoted to put Abronye in a cooler. Probably tomorrow it could be you, could be me, it could be Beatrice. And Cry the Beloved Country may probably be quoted. Alan Patton's Cry the Beloved Country may probably be quoted. And same done to us, because, I mean, we all live in this country and we are subject to the laws of this country. Nobody says that when a citizen goes wrong or falls short of the law, they shouldn't face the law. But how you do some of these things and the approach you take can make a good thing wrong. It's just like me trying to kill a mosquito that's hovering around your cheek and I slap you. The mosquito flies away and you have a mark of my fingers on your face. I tried helping, but the slap messed up everything with the marks on your face. And that's the situation we find ourselves in. Yes, you said the man has made unsavory comments. You've invited him. And this is clearly a misdemeanor. And Beatrice is sitting here, she is a lawyer, I'm not. But even a lay person like me knows that misdemeanor, worst case scenario, is I think up to 3 years, but mostly it's a fine and you are allowed to go. She also knows that bail is a right. Bail should not be used as punishment. So why is it being used as a punishment in Abronye's case? Look at the way he was transported to court. How?
In that police truck?
In that police truck. This is someone that you invited, and he willingly came, and you arrested him. For hours, his lawyers, they couldn't even locate him. And those things create unnecessary fear and panic among citizens. And those are the things we are talking about. So as for going back to this one did that one did that, you sat here numerous occasions and said everything that the New Patriotic Party then in power under the presidency of President Akufo-Addo then, everything we're doing was wrong. And you are now citing those standards you said were wrong to justify today's thing. In one breath, you say it has nothing to do with President Mahama. President Mahama is not interested in anything that is happening to Abronye. But every situation you cited has to do with President Mahama.
So I'm not getting it.
All this, how people, he said what? Abronye has insulted President Mahama how many times? 89 times.
More than that. That's what she
has found. But how do you say it has nothing to do with him?
No, she was, the point she was making there.
Annie, I don't think you are the one supposed to explain.
But you cannot misquote me and say,
you can't do that.
If
you say anything, and I think it's a discussion, I will explain.
Yes.
The point she was trying to make is, Abronye has attacked President Mahama many times, and that's where she actually mentioned the number, 80 something.
But Abronye's arrest has nothing to do with the president.
But President Mahama has not made any effort in pursuing a case in court and all that. So that's why she made references to all
that's
this.
Interesting.
That's the point, yes.
But the fundamental thing is freedom of speech is secured by our Constitution. I think Article 12(1)(a) or something like that. I stand to be corrected. When it comes to bail, Act 30, Section 96 clearly stipulates that. Today, like I said, is Abronye. Tomorrow, it could be any of us.
What did she say?
Human rights implication. What did I say? Come and quote me if you have anything that I said contrary to what I'm saying now.
But the statement she made in the ruling is as though she threw the previous administration under the bus.
Who threw
I don't know if that's what she was
administration
seeking
under
to
the
do.
Who?
The judge.
Which judge?
The judge we're talking about.
Yes.
It's a male, Mr. Samuel Bright. His Anna Samuel Bright.
But you want me
to think it's a female.
You want me to repeat it?
Through the administration under the bus.
Yes, the previous administration.
That what?
With the ruling.
Really? That's your understanding?
Well.
Okay. I mean, that's
yes, because the person she sat on the case is an NDC sympathizer. She stated it clearly in the year. So I'm sure to her it was a political case. And so yeah, that's how she.
To him.
To him, yes, it was a political case.
Well, that's up to the discretion of the judge.
The judge.
We know that lawyers will tell you that cases are dealt with on a case-to-case basis. If he thinks this is his justification, quoting Animal Farm and all those things is his justification for doing it, well, it didn't come out right. It goes against him as a judge. It didn't come right. Whatever his issues were, I've heard people say it has to do with promotion and all that. I can't independently confirm that.
What has to do with promotion?
Whatever the judge's ruling has to do, I can't independently, so I can't even subscribe to that. But whatever the judges, the judges, and can I finish my point?
No, you didn't make it clear.
The judge's thinking was, and his motivation was, to quote Animal Farm and make such a ruling in the case of 2 counts of misdemeanor. It's in the court of public opinion now. And I don't think it looks nice or good on the judge. And it doesn't look good on the government of the day either. Because if we have to be going, when was Animal Farm written? In the 1940, 1943 or 1944. So if we have to go back with a government that is supposed to be moving us forward, resetting in their own words based on the promises they made, and we have to be going back in the day, then we have a problem. But all these things border on human rights issues and how we pursue it. Probably some years back, this ruling wouldn't have even been available to the general populace because of the difficulties in dissemination of information. But today, at the click of a button, you get every information. The judge's name is on it. All these things are being discussed. Yes, she disagrees with it. We also disagree with it. It doesn't look good for any of us. It doesn't look good for the country. That's this akin to killing a housefly with a bulldozer. You know, it's not right. And what was wrong yesterday is wrong today. So I think that this is not.
But do we accept?
An issue.
Do we really accept that what was wrong yesterday was really wrong?
What do you mean by what was wrong? What was wrong
do we
yesterday
now accept
cannot be right
or
today?
Admit? Because today,
yes,
we hear a number of your political communicators and party officials who have the opportunity to go to either Yoko or the courts, speak to journalists, and they will make statements like, or when we come into power, you know that power is transient. So it's almost like you see that something is wrong, and you're threatening that when you come into power, you do the same thing, or probably worse. But here we are sitting and discussing what happened in the past that was wrong or was not appropriate. And we were, to the teeth defending it. And today it's now staring us in the face, and we have to deal with it. Are we not supposed to be learning today than to be threatening that when we also come into power, this is what we're likely to do?
Honey, in the face of pain and in the face of injustice, people say a lot of things. There are a lot of things that our compatriots in government now said, and they are now backtracking from, right? Beatrice sat here and said, oh, the government cannot interfere and all that.
That's not what I said. I said I don't have evidence. That's not what I said. Quote me rightly.
What did you say?
I said you asked if government was interfering, and I said I don't have any. But I have evidence of government interference and other cases.
No, that had to do with the case you cited as someone insulting President Akufo-Addo then. But when it came to the issues of the judiciary and all, I said government is not interfering. But Annie,
because in the past
government doesn't interfere in some of these issues, but government can recall police. This is fundamentally, when you look at the judgment, is comments that Abronye made against the IGP.
After all, the offices, Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
You get a government cannot interfere. You said that the Attorney General is going to court today in relation to that.
So this is
that
what
right?
I'm reading from
the
inquisitor, because it was said by a lawyer.
Said the Attorney General will be going in relation to
so this is what
this case.
The story says. Private legal practitioner Martin Bibu has disclosed that the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni, intends to intervene to ensure that the Libertarian Party chairman, Kwame Bafo, probably known as Abronye, is granted bail today.
Honey, and I'm telling you as government spokesperson, just an intervention, a short one, as government spokesperson, that the Attorney General does not intend to interfere in this. In fact, as we speak, the Attorney General is in Wa, attending the bar conference that they are doing the opening today. So the Attorney General cannot interfere. So that cannot
But the Attorney General doesn't work alone. He may.
Yes, but I've spoken to the Attorney General, so I'm telling you this on authority.
Okay.
The way governance works, an officer or a person in charge doesn't necessarily need to be physically present.
Yeah, but she said she's spoken
to
with
make
him,
certain things
and
work.
He has denied
but,
it. So
it's not. You see, interference. I mean, to an extent. In the context of forcing people's hand to do what shouldn't be done is the problem. But look at how this is looking. But you see, the government cannot interfere. But the government was able to call Ghana police out, call them from Galamsey sites, because what they were doing, according to His Excellency the President, wasn't what they were supposed to be doing. Isn't that similar to what is happening with how this issue of Abronye is being delayed? So it's not going to hold someone to do something contrary to what the laid down procedures are. But when these things are not being channeled the right way, definitely those responsible must be able to call them to order. Definitely, on a day-to-day basis, if the police are doing their duties, nobody goes or nobody will support anybody going. But look at a critical thing like Galamsey. They were going to fight it. They were called back. And you think that the police or the Attorney General cannot put in a word for things should be done as they ought to be done? It is wrong. It's not interference. It's just putting things the way it should be done. And like I said, yes, today, it's Abronye.
Because
animal farm is being quoted. Tomorrow it could be you and I.
This is the judge's ruling. The Office of the Attorney General may have heard, and Beatrice, maybe you may want to respond to that. The Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice may have heard all these criticisms coming from both sides of the biggest political parties. So it definitely has to be interested to want to, even if he is not interfering now, or the office is not interfering now, the office may want to look into it and say, okay, what's
the police prosecutor?
It's a police prosecutor, yes. So maybe exactly. The Attorney General may want to show interest and say,
works well.
Give me the basis of this case.
The police prosecutor works well. At the police. And the police is a state of an institution of the state. Right.
Yeah, now I am even saying that this is where I expect that the Attorney General will be interested.
Well,
no, because everybody is. I mean, we've held press conference. I mean, official programs. I've played some of the videos of lawyers from both sides raise very strong cases against this ruling.
It's not
or
about
the reasoning
lawyers from
behind
both
it.
sides. I think that on this note, you should give credit to the NDC lawyers that I mean, not to look down on anybody. The NDC lawyers have shown.
No, I'm looking at it bipartisanly.
We are lawyers of conscience. We have not, and we will not say that merely because our party is in power. We will defend everything.
No, you're just
Annie.
So let me
have my time.
You have your time. Interestingly, I think what you are trying to do is not to look at it from this angle that NPP lawyers or lawyers in MPP. Lawyers in MPP are on the same page.
No, you can't. No, you can't finish. Interestingly, and I keep hearing NDC lawyers, and interestingly, until Beatrice and Co. started appearing on air and all that, I had never heard NDC lawyers and MPP lawyers. I'd never heard that.
I'd rather lawyers in MPP. Lawyers in MPP,
I never heard.
Lawyers in NDC is different from MPP lawyers.
They all go through the same training.
Yes.
No matter where you do your LLB or whatever, when it comes to the being called to the bar, they all go through the same training and all that.
In MPP and lawyers
are lawyers.
And no,
when they dress, they all do what they all dress black and white, wear the same way.
The point I'm trying to make is when we
do they have streaks of colors, political party colors in their gowns?
We say that MPP lawyers, it connotes different.
So now it's about
semantics. So it is, it's very precision. Lawyers in NPP.
Can I respond?
And the fundamental thing is that until the likes of B3 started coming on, I had never heard MPP lawyers. I'd never heard
lawyers
NDC lawyers. Annie, please, let me make my point.
But when
Beatrice was talking, you were quiet and you were just listening to her. But it's like at every point in time, you want to interject and you wreck my flow.
MPP and their communication.
The fundamental thing is, what is being done?
There's a reason why there's a moderator for the show. There's a reason for it. So this complaint should stop.
Meanwhile, you subjected me, sir. I never complained.
Go ahead, Mr. Kwame Bafo, as I was.
Mr. Kwame Bafo, also known as Abronya DC, what is being done to him?
What is being done to him?
To him. The process that is being taken, we all agree fundamentally that even the thinking behind the ruling on all those quotes that came in doesn't sound right. Are we going to make it right? Is the government committed to doing it? Because they've told us that even for a critical and sensitive issue like Galamsey, if the police is not doing it right, they'll call them to order. So how is that different from what is happening now when we have Article 12(1)A and other articles in our Constitution guarding strongly freedom of expression? And this has also become topical because prior to Abronya's issue, there were a few other people like your own, say Obama, who was supposed to go and aid in investigation, but was picked up like a common criminal.
How do you mean?
They broke his back door and picked him up at dawn. This is someone supposed to be assisting in investigation. Is that how you invite someone to assist you in investigations? Kept them longer than they should. So it's becoming...
Longer than they should?
I mean, Annie, what you are calling someone to assist, as we sit here, why is bail given? They are the ones that say that a person is not guilty until proven guilty. Police said they haven't finished their investigation. It's 2 counts of misdemeanor. Why can't he be granted bail? How dangerous is Abronye to what is being investigated? Let's put the issues in context. As for what someone did yesterday, as for 89 times of whatever Beatrice is talking about, is it right? Does it look good on us in 2025? Does it look good on us in the regime of a party now in government that promised us to reset? Do you reset by going back, or you reset by going up? You see, and that is why in the run-up to the election, we kept on saying that the alternative is scary. And when we say the alternative is scary, we are showing it.
There's a reason I played Danado's video in that international interview when he said government has no interference in the work of the judiciary. Is it not the same case today? Why are we making it look like it was a government, or it is a government-sponsored or influenced police attempt to harass a political activist?
Do we come and sit here every day and discuss cases or judgments? We don't. There are people being held at Yoko. There are people that are being punished with bail. You remember Chairman Wuntumi, who else? A couple of them. Bail was set so high, it became punitive.
Edubuahin.
Bail was set so high, it looked punitive. Is the bail supposed to be treated that way? These are people that are even suspects. They are alleged to have committed the crimes you're accusing them of. And I've always maintained, anybody who is falling short of the law, anybody who has shortchanged this country, but definitely face the law. But how do you treat people like this when you haven't even proven that what you're accusing them of, they are guilty of it? That is what we are talking about here.
How do you mean that if they are not guilty, they should what? They should be let off free? Or
why is bail in our... Why is bail...
It's seeming to you that it's too much.
But
conditions,
bail
conditions.
You go and give someone bail conditions that look, that's out of the world.
It looks outrageous.
Million. Who was the other person that was a musician was also picked up. The bail, finally they had to reduce the bail and all that. It's becoming one too many in a setup that is supposed to reset us. Are we rewinding to the dark days, or we are resetting to better days, to a Ghana for everyone? That's the question.
So can I come in with the call on the Attorney General to intervene? I think...
Is who is calling on the Attorney General to intervene?
No, you also made a similar point that it doesn't look good on government, and that the police are under the government and all that. I think that the MPP have been used to doing the wrong things so much that it appears they've even forgotten what is right, and they can't do a very clean separation between what is right and what is wrong. Merely because you've had an Attorney General who is in the habit of calling judges and coercing witnesses and asking them to come and lie to mislead the court, doesn't mean that Dr. Ayeni is like that. We don't have such an Attorney General. And even as, to use your expression, lawyers in the NDC, we do not think that we ought to sacrifice our conscience and legal principles just because we have to win an argument or we have to win a case. Sometimes when you go to court, you lose at the High Court, you lose at the Court of Appeal. Sometimes you even lose at the Supreme Court and you win on review. It doesn't mean that you're a bad lawyer. But they brought in this thing of you need to win your cases to make sure, to paint to the people of Ghana that you're a good lawyer. A judgment or a ruling has been given in respect of the court. And I've listened to, I've read Abronye's counsel's arguments in court for the grant of bail. I don't really see any compelling reasons. Maybe he should go back stronger today, because if he goes back with this argument, he may be remanded for even more than 2 weeks. And
what did he say?
He was complaining about a number of things. For instance, about the car that Abronye was brought in, about the fact that he had ties in Ghana, about the fact that the way Abronye was being treated and all that. Those are not grounds for the grant of bail. But
okay,
the point
counsel
is
for the
that
accused.
the court has given a decision. When we say the Attorney General should intervene, what do we mean? Do we want the Attorney General to call the judge on phone and say that?
No.
Oh, so what do we want that Attorney General to do?
But you know that's not the right thing to do.
So what do we want the Attorney General to do?
Just
I want to be guided.
Just look into the case.
Look into the case as what? If you are a lawyer, and we have represented clients that they have denied, the courts have denied bail, the moment, sometimes in fact, by the time you are going to court, you realize that this judge may remand my client. So you prepare a repeat bail application and you print and you have it in your suitcase. The moment they deny you, you file it at the High Court. So there are a lot of legal remedies available. That can be done. In fact, they can file for the abridgment of time if they think, but he's even going back today. So he was only remanded for the weekend. Then it means that they are now even going to hear the substantive, whether he should be remanded or bailed. My point is that let's be careful the kind of systems we want to build. We were in this country when we had an Attorney General who would practically call judges, who would hold conferences with judges because he wanted a certain desired outcome. That was bizarre. That was a shame to the bar. Godfrey Dame we should never have an Attorney General like Godfrey Dame. I mean, it's something that is like a scar on the bar. It is so bad. The optics are bad. Let's not even lead any Attorney General into that temptation, abyss that Godfrey Dame descended. The judge has made a decision. The judge was wrong. The question is, what is the remedy available?
The remedy is not for the Attorney General to come into...
It's not for the Attorney General to call the judge. So what should the Attorney General do? Somebody has to be telling me what the Attorney General has to do. What should the Attorney General do?
What does Article 88 of our Constitution say?
I have it here.
The Constitution is there. You can make
I can give it to you to read so that I see what Article 88 says for the Attorney General to do. There is nothing in the Article 88 on what Attorney General should do. So let's not lead Dr. Ayeni into... So today we are saying that because Abronye has been arrested, Attorney General should call the judge or intervene, whatever intervene means. Tomorrow when I am arrested, then Attorney General intervenes. Would the discussion be that I will not even compare myself to Abronye? So that example may be wrong. But if somebody else is arrested, and then the Attorney General intervenes, and that person is maybe NDC, what will we be saying? That the Attorney General did what? Let's not start something we cannot finish. The call for the Attorney General to intervene, maybe they should be explaining what the intervention means.
Annie, in Abronye's case, who is the complainant? It's the state.
In every case, the state is the complainant.
Yes, fine. In every case.
In every case, yes, the Republic, if that's the case.
In every case in law.
Yes.
So if I have an issue with you, the complainant will be the case.
That will be a civil case. I'm saying that
exactly.
If you have
so what I'm saying is that when that's why I asked in the Abronye case.
Then the complainant will be the IGP from the fact, even though it wasn't.
It's clearly the IGP. The complainant is the state. Who is responsible, solely responsible for state cases? It's the Attorney General. If police prosecution is authorized to do some of these things, and they are going about it in a way that is embarrassing.
What is embarrassing about this?
Nobody is saying the Attorney General should take a phone and call the judge. Definitely, that is not right, and nobody will recommend that. But you have sat here and said what is being done is wrong, but you don't think that it should be remedied. So what are you saying?
No, but is that
you are blowing hot and cold?
Is that the only remedy?
No,
I know in terms
of
who
has said
who should
Attorney
come
General
in,
should call the judge.
Yes.
So what should
who
the
has
meaning
said
of
Attorney General should call any judge?
And
But we all know that what is being done, the process that when they are doing it is not right.
What process?
Who is responsible for state cases in this country? That is why I said, what does Article 88 say?
You have it. So let's
okay. You are the lawyer.
So do you?
So explain it to me and break it down to me.
Yes,
What I'm reading
so much need the Attorney General to come in.
No, but who is responsible for the ultimate? Has the ultimate responsibility for state cases?
No, but we're not talking about the ultimate. No, we're not talking about the ultimate. We haven't even gotten to the ultimate now. Because you have gone for
so when you said the Attorney General should come in, what were you saying?
The judge has actually given reasons for not granting the bail. You, as a lawyer or a defender, you have every right to go for a review. Is that not? I mean, this is even giving us options in the law that you can explore.
When you said the Attorney General should intervene, what did you mean?
I said the Attorney General should be interested. That's the word I use. That
interested
should be interested because
why do you think the Attorney General should be interested?
Minister of Justice as well. And you know, I also consider sometimes when there are political cases, they are considered high-profile cases. You know, because of the people involved. The people involved seem to have. I'm sorry. Listen, the people involved have constituencies, right? So they control a certain masses. And that is where, if you are not careful as a state, it can get out of hand. If they control a certain, constituency within the political terrain, which is why I think it's an important case for the Attorney General to be interested in, not because Abonye is a special person.
Your intention was not for the Attorney General to call a judge.
Oh, no,
exactly.
No, definitely not.
So I don't know why you should coming with this thing of Attorney General calling a judge.
I've had a lot of calls for the Attorney General to intervene. What exactly is the expectation? You see, when a person is arrested, the police have 48 hours within which to bring the person to court if they think that they will not grant the bail. Now, the police did not breach this part of the law. He was taken to court within 48 hours. In fact, that was a submission of the prosecutor. In court, the court has remanded the gentleman. We are only saying that it's not that the decision to remand is wrong. We're saying that as lawyers, the reasoning behind the remand is not sound in law. And so because the reasoning is not sound, we will say that you erred. There is nothing that government has done wrong. And this posturing is not good. See, when we go to court, and especially there is a case of contempt or a bail application, sometimes you even quote the Bible when you see the judge is a Christian. And you will use some parables just to touch the heart. Because what the person can do A or B, you cannot fault the person for any of the decisions they make because it will be right in law. You can, just like we are disagreeing here, we can disagree all we want. And we can make all the jurisprudential arguments. And we can take on the judge. But Bronye will still be behind bars on hunger strike. Nothing will change that. In fact, you can go and say, some of the phrases we use, vehemently opposed, on all fours, and use all the nice languages. Sometimes the judge will listen to you and just say application denied. Yes. And there is nothing you can do. So let's not make it like, because in the past, there was this thing of, Godfrey Dami can actually sit on TV and tell you on authority that
fixation with Godfrey
I don't
out
have
of the world.
He's attorney general.
He actually still attorney general
on TV and tell you that Honorable Judge Kwesi will be convicted. That was the attorney general we had. They are so used to that low standard.
What is low standard?
That's low standard. And
what is low standard?
You have quoted Article 88 that the attorney general is also a minister for justice. And you know what we say? The attorney general must not only be interested in inculpatory evidence, but also exculpatory, so that the role of attorney general is not to secure conviction at all costs, but to seek justice. And so, it is the 360 turnaround in 8 months. You guys are going to be in opposition at least for 4 years till the next election. In 8 months, you should be enjoying the country you left behind. You should probably be saying that for all the good things we did in Ghana, for the reforms we brought into the judiciary, for how well we dealt with our opponents. But we are still in this country.
Where have we gone to? We are in this country.
You should not be complaining.
But we are complaining because things are not being done as they should. That's what we are complaining about.
It is an admission that in the past you did everything wrong, and yet you defended it. And I'm giving you the assurance.
Shifting goalposts.
No, I'm giving you the assurance. Like they say jokingly, the past is not the present. And we will not repeat the mistakes we have made. And this morning, we have all agreed. You were saying that for the first time, NDC lawyers and NPP lawyers are all saying this decision is not
lawyers
wrong.
In NPP
and then
and
Laura says that until I started coming on TV, she's never even heard about that. But do you know Darucha? Do you know Darucha? Darucha is NPP. So they started it even long ago before us. The point has to be made that we can make an argument that let's move forward, and we are moving forward. But these people should not be the ones giving the moral lesson. That is the argument here. When Ghanaians speak,
so
we hear them.
What are you saying?
When Ghanaians speak,
wrong. In one breath, let's keep it the same.
No,
in another breath, the people that you said were not the standard are the people you are referring to.
Actually,
so
you guys,
what are you saying?
We should never have your group of people in this country again. I'm saying that.
That's your flip-flop.
While discerning Ghanaians are talking, we hear them. And yesterday, I was on the phone with Oliver Baka for a very long time. We were practically debating this matter. So we hear them. We hear the argument. But you people should probably keep quiet in this.
How? Because we are not citizens anymore. Wow.
It is their person.
Freedom of expression is now a privilege.
My point is that what has changed in 8 months? We are saying that we agree with those who are speaking that the decision is wrong. You in the past said there is nothing wrong. That when hooligans they even use the term jailed, even when they were on remand. When hooligans and vagabonds, and those are the time they were just misusing jargons. Then all of a sudden, in 8 months, Abronya is no longer. How are you even comparing Abronya to Oliver Baka? How? And yet we are being told that Oliver was a vagabond, but Abronya is a hero. And so what? We should hold a party. I've told you, I'm an advocate of non-custodial sentence. My favorite judge, Justice Taylor, he made the statement that when people have had their first brush with the law, it was important in the reformative element that you don't give them custodial sentence because our prisons are not reformative. And if you look at the incidents of Felicity Nelson and all that, I can't imagine myself being there. So nobody will wish it on us. We are saying that while we have the discussion, you must first admit that in the past, your government was shambolic. Your government engaged in human rights abuses. And then you say that because we admit that we did these things wrong, We are saying that let's not proceed.
Yes, but
Afenyo-Markin has been doing this admission.
Exactly. It's what I was going to say.
He said
he said it many times.
To do what? To admit that your government in the past was shambolic.
I was just about to make reference to Afenyo-Markin's comments that has repeatedly said that if we did it and it was wrong, you cannot come and repeat.
When we sat here,
agree that the symbolic legacy.
Why are we in opposition? Because Ghanaians judge on these things. I mean, in that context.
It's not Ghanaians. You must first admit it.
Judge on these things.
As a member of your
mistakes that were made.
What were the mistakes?
Your comment is mistakes. I'm sorry. Your comment is politically incorrect.
It's not a matter of political
incorrect. It's politically incorrect.
What is politically incorrect?
Why are you in opposition?
Make general
why are you in opposition?
We are in opposition because Ghanaians were not happy with how.
Is that why you are in opposition?
That's why we are in opposition.
So is Dr. Baumia and Kennedy Japan? I'm sorry. Is Dr. Baumia and Kennedy Japan wrong to apologize to Ghanaians for what you people did or how the government ran?
Even before this was done, the General Secretary has done same. Other parties.
That's why I'm saying that your comment is politically incorrect.
Why is it politically
because
incorrect?
You can't say that it's because Ghanaians know.
No, but at the end of the day,
precision.
No, Annie. At the end of the day,
yes,
right. If I sit here, is the viewers and you, probably not even you, maybe your production team, that can give
the judgment.
Feedback.
Yes.
On
so
what
are you saying
done,
that
right?
It is possible that you clearly did everything correctly, but Ghanaians didn't like it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there were mistakes.
What were the mistakes? We want to know the mistakes.
Some of the decisions that were taken,
like what
after
decision?
COVID, something like DDEP, affected a lot of people.
We are talking about human rights.
People had listen. Oh no, but if someone feels that you've taken something that they've duly worked for,
you cannot struggle.
You are infringing on
you
their
cannot
rights.
struggle in government communication and struggle in opposition communication.
If I come and I take something,
she didn't tell you she was struggling.
We are struggling.
She didn't tell you.
She didn't tell you.
Feel that I've taken something that you are due. You worked for it, and that's what most people explain when it comes to the DDEP, for instance, that you've taken my money that I have worked for. With all the explanations and with all the justifications we try to explain, the individual's feeling was that you've taken money that I worked for. Some will tell you, you've taken money that is my retirement package. I mean, that is similar to infringing on someone's rights, their rights to survive. So some of those issues got the people that we came to serve. Because the people of Ghana will give you the mandate to come and serve. So if the people of Ghana says that the New Patriotic Party's government didn't serve us well, shortchanged us, so they should go and sit at the back. NDC, you said you are coming to reset. Come and rule us, come and serve us, because it's public service. Come and serve us, and you come, and at every opportunity, you are benchmarking with what the people of Ghana rejected. What are you doing?
You're benchmarking.
That's what you're doing.
And what's wrong with benchmarking?
Do you benchmark with high standards, or you benchmark with what people said were wrong?
That's what you're doing. Benchmarking is benchmarking.
No, that's what you're doing. No, Annie, nobody benchmarks with the wrong. When you want to improve, so you set the standards. That's why when you are doing things, you look for the best standards. You look for the best practice.
Okay, then in that case,
benchmark against
where was the benchmarking done by the government?
Come again
today.
No, what I'm saying is that with every time, you remember between 2017 and 2019, anytime we try to refer to the NDC, you're like, why are you referring to us? We are not in government. Mm-hmm. Today, I think Beatrice has cited more issues in the NDC, in the MPP regime, than telling us what they actually doing or what their research actually means.
Don't worry.
And the research is supposed to affect every sector of governance.
Take it slowly. We are coming there.
You know, it's not that. So it's like at every point in time, probably if we had listened then and not be referring to them and had focused. So sometimes when I see some of the appointees so fixated about what their predecessor did, something that Yoko or audit service or those in charge of those things are supposed to be doing it and going on there, I smile. Because you are using your productive hours to be dealing with the past. And the past is not the present. You made a promise for the people of Ghana that I'm coming to do A, B, C, D. And at every point in time, it's 48 months. We've done 8 months. It's left with 40 months. The 40 months, 2028, half of it is gone because it's an election year.
2028 that.
An election is gone. So if you're going to sit down and instead of doing right, you are telling us to shut up, not talk. If I had said something like this when we got, now I'm sure it would have been called arrogant, disrespectful, anything. But in a country, in a democratic dispensation, where every individual has freedom of expression, we are being told as citizens that we should shut up.
You know what she said?
We should shut up.
You can say
that
shut up, but you have to say it in a lower tone.
I should say shut up, I should say
in a lower tone.
Shut up. Whether you shout it or you whisper it, you told us to shut up.
No, but they are very serious.
You see, so it's like she's sitting here telling us to shut up. So she's smiling in one breath, talking about how Abronya is not a person of interest, talking about what. So that's why I'm saying that she's blowing hot and cold.
Okay.
Abronya is not a person of interest.
Okay, let me
the judge didn't do right, but nothing should be done about it.
So this one says that, Annie, I'm able
to court about it. Go to court. Okay. Go to court. Didn't you have the best lawyers 8 months ago? What has changed? Is the court? Is not legal arguments we used to read? Is it political power? Go to court.
So
challenge it.
I'm Eben from Kwabena.
Truth be told, argument
to the impotent and anticipated elephant for once, you say, no matter the noise they make, most of us are witnessing good governance. Greetings to Honorable Agbo of Ghana East, you say. All right, this is from Eben from Tema Shipyard. Eben, thank you for the message. Carlos says that, good morning, Annie, on the issue of Abronye, even Nana B or, okay, his name is Nana B. I don't even know what you want to write, but I'm not going to read it. Who is calling for street protests should have been arrested long ago. We've been waiting for that. I also believe Afenyo Markin's arrest is long overdue. Yoko and police CID wrote to the speaker requesting his release for questioning. Yet the speaker keep delaying. Some NDC members are part of the problem. What are we waiting for? Action is needed now. Carlos from Odododio. It's talking. Beatrice, Carlos thinks that some of you are the problem. Some of the NDC members, you are part of the problem of the delay in prosecution cases. Na Kokoi Mensa. Okay, let me just do this quick one. There's a birthday wish. Na Kokoi Mensa, head PR, Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. She's called Na Kokoi Mensa. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. It's coming from staff members here at Metro TV. But let me just send your picture to my producer. I'm sure they will put it on the screen later. More of your messages. Please keep your messages short, I beg you. But this one, statistically, about 48,000 people from President John Dramani Mahama's own region have been displaced, with some tragically forced to seek refuge in Ivory Coast, and this in the country where there is no war. Yet, rather than addressing such pressing humanitarian crisis, the president's priority is to ruthlessly punish Abronye under the guise of "we'll show you where power lies." president has done nothing to Abonye. Please, let's be precise in what we're saying. And he concludes by saying that it is therefore no surprise that within the just 9 months in office, good people of Ghana are already bitterly regretting and trusting their mandate to the NDC. The same people who voted them into power are today delusioned and disappointed, realizing too late that their hopes have been betrayed. Seshi, MD from Seshi, you also sent that in. Okay, I'm picking some messages online. Abronya is undergoing research. He made a serious allegations against senior security personnel, and you think he should not be held to substantiate the allegations. Michael Achampon is the one that sent this on Facebook. Michael Achampon. Abran Tepa Kwesi Ima says a great submission from Beatrice and Beauty with Brains, you say. That's also from Facebook. This is from Twitter. Governance Jones Della says NPP playing the victim today will leave them in opposition till 2099. Wahala, wala. Walai, okay, walai. Governor Jones Della is the one that sent it for YouTube. Have another one? Okay, let's just take a quick breather. We'll be back, and then my guest will have a touch on the president's meeting, the press. Oh, you won't let me conclude? No, there's no conclusion to that. We'll move forward. I'll be back shortly.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase yonkwala shoes yonkwala duane yonkwala wipes nkwala diapers nkwala toys baby cot in fact bibia opama o manyina obenye bi wase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059-6377-172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Wabedum Tamaso. Hey, Jay. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozige. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji. I'll cause some discomfort.
Uncle,
sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share nanda danya wash mosquito call esudu womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima edronum ansana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA ajatum.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job,
we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo kendini, ehube here, semecha sapapadia to amame manfo. Kale Charcoal's natural ingredients, eno, and a bomb is sehobai, a maniswing, nesansu mama hotoso, e will beg you.
Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Choose Kale Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kale, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream. And this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer my calls, Alvaro. I haven't heard anything from you. I've sent you so many messages, but you've never responded.
Have you left the bus station?
I just want to pay my debt and get out of here.
Her photographs are going to sell fast, and she will be our gold mine. Our clients will love those.
Are you looking for a boyfriend? Are you all right?
You Are the One is proudly sponsored by The Luckiest, Appointed Time Printing, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Some Spices, and Givers Herbal Center.
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. There are laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. Implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have. And if it becomes necessary for a state of emergency, then we'll look at it. It means we have to go to Parliament. The President can't just declare a state of emergency without, going to Parliament, because there's a limit to how long you can maintain that state of emergency. And so I believe that we still have leverage to continue to fight Galamsey without necessarily implementing a state of emergency. We have to, it means that we have to delineate the areas where the state of emergency is operational. And if you look at the area where Galamsey is taking place, it covers several districts of our country. And so we would do it if it becomes necessary. But for now, I think that we've given the security services enough powers to be able to deal with people who are found to be involved in Galamsey.
That's His Excellency the President. But let me take the opportunity to read this message. Annie, it's striking that no visible arrests were made of the NDC individuals allegedly involved in the assault of Hawa Kumsin and other senior MPP officials in Ablekuma North, yet they were granted bail and subsequently received lenient sanctions in the form of minimal fines. Paradoxically, Abronye is being detained in the custody of a misdemeanor. Notably, there are numerous other instances of individuals who have committed and continue to commit transgressions of the far more serious nature compared to Abronye's actions were not Okay, we're not positing that Abronye is innocent. Rather, we are advocating for application of proportionate and appropriate sanctions. Manche Bruce II, Takrade, is the one that sent it. Manche Bruce, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. And, okay, I think I'll take this later. But this one says that Abronye Bako Police Brewery. I'm highly surprised how the Ghana Police Service is dealing with this Abronye issue. Police is shielding helmets and guns like they are going on a battlefield. Anyway, it is well. Ghanaians are watching closely. Master Planner Policy Analyst Kintampo is the one that sent us in. Okay, let's move forward and deal with the issue of Galamsey. It always has to do with our lives because our lives are directly dependent on. The president met the press last week and had the opportunity to respond to the Galamsey and state of emergency questions that were thrown to him by the media. His response is what we played, which is, I'll start with you again because it has to do with your government and how you are tackling the issue of Galamsey.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think that we ought to commend where is due and criticize for good feedback. And I've seen a lot of people commend President Mahama for meeting the press. And I think that is also commendable. It makes us, as members of the government, very proud, not only because he met the media, but his appreciation of everything that was happening. President Mahama knows so much. I keep saying that he's not one of those presidents that you can lie to and say that maybe, Mr. President, everything is fine or the people are happy. No, he's everywhere. He's on social media. And sometimes he uses terminologies that young people use. And when you ask him, he will tell you that I read the comments. So he's very well in tune with what is happening in the country. And I think that we have to be proud of the president we have, that this president cannot be misled as we have witnessed in the past. Now, having made that point, I recognize as a communications person, and for that matter, a member of this government, that Galamsey is a topical issue. Also, by my training, you must not run away from challenges and issues which you deem difficult. In fact, it is the reason the people voted for the NDC. I remember one of the consistent things we used to say is that if you don't want government officials to be involved in Galamsey like the MPP did, then it was important that the people of Ghana change government. And I commend strongly the Democracy Hub and many people, and especially the advocacy on Twitter. I had now X. I had the course to join a number of X spaces that we spoke about these things. So it's not lost on us. And let nobody also create the impression that the NDC government does not want to confront or talk about Galamsey. No. In fact, it's a discussion we are always happy to have so that the Ghanaian people will constantly be assured that this government is committed to solving the menace of Galamsey. Having established it, it's important that we make a certain distinction. I've heard many people, and one of the main communications line of the MPP has been that the NDC must declare a state of emergency. And so why is President Mahama saying that we cannot declare a state of emergency because we've not exhausted every legal remedy? And then they proceed to say that we make this assertion because in the past, President Mahama has said, let's call for a state of emergency with Galamsey. I mean, so much for those who say that we shouldn't refer to the past. But we are happy that we ought to be reminded about the statement that we have made in the past. Now, these were the facts before coming here or before getting to where we are today in government. The issue of Galamsey has always been with us and successive government. As far back as John Mahama, #1's government, Chinese people were deported and a number of things. And then the NPP also came, and then there was a consensus that we ought to end the menace. Now, what did the NPP do? In the very early stages of the administration, they declared a state of emergency. It's not as if some has not been declared before. And when they declared the state of emergency, what did they do? They suspended even valid mining leases. And then by the time the state of emergency was over, those mining leases ended up with NPP party officials, quote me everywhere, Moon to me, Kate Jemfoa, and a number of their party executives became galamseyers. So some of them had mining leases. Some of them were operating outside the scope of their mining leases. So they declared a state of emergency, only to take away the rights from ordinary citizens and made Galamsey a partisan fight. In fact, Professor Frimpong Boaten's report mentioned names of people in Jubilee then who were actively engaged in Galamsey. Professor Frimpong Boaten is not a member of the NDC. Neither was he working for President John Mahama. And so the point has to be made that we need to situate the discussion in this. Now a new government came. And the new government, as an obligation to solve the Galamsey menace, will have to be given an opportunity to explore what it deemed to be the solution, review the policies that they have put in place, and when it fails, a new policy will be declared. And if that will include a state of emergency, President Mahama has said that we will do that. But at this stage, we think that we are putting in place some measures, and it is our reasonable expectation that those measures should help curtail the menace. So let's not the NPP make it look like declare the state of emergency, because the last time they pushed themselves to declare the state of emergency, we only changed and it became worse. Water bodies which were not destroyed before they come into power were destroyed. A lot of things went wrong. So I want to call on the people of Ghana to keep faith with the NDC, to keep faith with President Mahama, that there is nobody at the seat of government, there is no minister who is interested in engaging in Galamsey, and that the president has demonstrated one of the strongest commitments that even a mere allegation of your involvement in Galamsey, you would have to answer questions. This we did not see. We recognize that the fight will not take a day, but those who are in haste, validly so, and we hear you. But let's not, I mean, for me, that's the challenge. Let's not make it look like merely because you have to criticize and oppose, the NPP just has to criticize. Now, what is the progress? Where are we? And where do we want to go in our quest to solve the menace? As I speak to you, over 440 excavators have been confiscated. They have not been bent. They have not been missing. These are, I mean, verifiable data. And
but there were complaints of some missing, I think,
yes,
about 2 months ago.
Along the line,
are they found? Have they been found?
They were not missing.
Okay. Was it data distortion?
It was a miscommunication, and I think the Minerals Commission, Hannah Bisiu, came to clarify what she means.
Okay.
But I'm saying that you have not seen excavators flying. 440 accounted for. That, although many people will say has not solved the issue, which I agree and I will agree with, but that is a plus. Now we have over 1,400 arrests that have been persons engaged in Galamsey that have been affected. That is also a plus. you have over 300 champagnes which have been confiscated. And then also you have 900 water pumps that they used to normally destroy the water bodies and pump water, also seized and given to farmers. In all these, about the 9 forests which under the NPP were reclaimed, and government said they could not do anything about it. Those 9 have been reclaimed. We are being told that about 2 of them, the people are trying to force their way back.
Yes, last week I had an interview with the communications media or whatever, something at
of Minerals Commission.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Shandorf, yes. And he explained that I think one of the forests was about to be, or some of the galamseys were going back into it, so they're trying to.
Now, I can also tell you on authority that there are processes underway to review the Minerals and Minings Act, so that we would put in place stringent measures, and then some of the loopholes, having piloted the act for some time, some of the loopholes can be corrected. Then there is also the revocation of the LI 2462 underway. Initially, government took the position that let's repeal the portion that deals with mining and forest reserve. Civil society said it was not enough. We think that there should be a complete overhaul. And so, as a listening government, the government has heard, why not? Let's go back and do further engagements if this LI is not giving us the results. But most importantly, Annie, we realize that the reason that people don't want to engage in any other business is because it does not give them as much as the galamsey gives them. And we said that, I mean, on the basis of some data analysis, the people can actually engage in responsible mining in a way that does not affect our water bodies and also even cause harm to our environment. Because that's basically
but I don't, you see, this argument, it was done in the previous administration, and it looks like the current administration also doing the same argument, that the people now want to do what they want because of how much it fetches them.
No. So,
because what I am doing now does not fetch me how much I really want. But I cannot go and rob your house.
You want to work with the BBC?
Maybe BBC cannot even give me what I want. Because if I tell you what I want right now, I'm not sure any company can pay me as much. You understand?
I agree
so
with you.
let's not entertain all that talk that what I'm getting from Galamsey, no other employment can give me. So you want to kill all of us?
No, that's nonsense. So that is where you see, in the past, many people have said that. Let these people go into maybe agriculture. Let them go and learn a trade. Interacting with the communities. In fact, that is what initially was NALEB, and now it has been changed into the ARCOM. I'm never able to pronounce the word, but it's headed by Frank Asari. Now, the engagement and the data shows that, you know what? These people can engage in responsible mining. Part of the reasons they were doing that is that half of them had political colorations, NPP members. So they thought that, I mean, you had some immunity from law, for which reason if you were seated in Jubilee and you were doing whatever, you had immunity. But we are talking about real community people who do not mine in, how do you call it? Who do not mine in commercial quantity. The only reason is that because they are not regulated and they are doing it illegally, they just move anyhow and they destroy because they are not accountable. They are doing it under the shadows. So what should be the solution for them to win, for government to win? First of all, a number of mining companies have been engaged because these mining companies who are mining in very sustainable ways in accordance with all regulations, they must first of all discover the gold in some commercial quantity. So even if you had gold, but it was not in the commercial quantity, they would not want to use all that resources. So an engagement has been made so that these people will cede some of their, concessions to the local folks. Then they will be guided by government. They will be trained by government. They will be supervised. Then government also realizes that when you do that, it then becomes individuals. And Annie can go for the lease, mine here, and then move away without reclaiming the land or fulfilling all the conditions subsequent in the lease.
In mining.
And so why don't you rather group them? Why don't you give them leaders, people we can hold responsible? And as I speak to you, the ARCOM has engaged about 30 different communities or districts in communities in mining districts to really say that we want to do this with you. And this is not partisan.
What's that different from community mining?
Maybe he should be telling us how the community mining was done, because that was the previous government. But it didn't yield the needed results.
It was not with the community mining was mining, licenses given to individuals,
yes,
not necessarily
forming groups. This one, it has to be the cooperatives. Okay. So we are saying that, and you see, it was during or on the way to launch this program that we had that tragic incident where Dr. Mani and the 7 others lost their lives. So basically what the NDC government is saying is that we agree with anybody who calls for the Galamsey menace to end. And that is the right call. And we join in that call. We are a young government. We have been able to put these measures in place. Forests which could not be reclaimed in the past, we've been able to use other strategies to reclaim the forest. Along the line, we may implement something, it may not go well, we come back to review it. Here, review doesn't mean cancel. We will come back to review it, and then together with the people. And you see, Erastus Asaridonko, a man I salute so much in this fight, anytime he goes somewhere to discover and he posts, government quickly engages Erastus any information. He will come back himself and provide updates that the government are. In the past, Erastus Asari couldn't post. He was scared for his life. And so this is a government that has shown that we are committed to ending this menace. Right. This is a government that has shown that government officials ought not to be making millions from illegal mining. And I tell Oratu, if he knows any government official, anybody in government who is engaged in, because as I said, I can mention Charles Niteko Tegu, who was at the Jubilee House. I didn't say it. Professor Frimpong Watson said it. Okay. I can mention names of people that Professor Frimpong, she should mention one. Okay. We agree that it will take time. But MPP, once again, maybe you should allow time before you come in. But for now, the NDC is committed to making sure that we end this menace. And the Ghanaian people should keep faith with the NDC. Okay. Because we will listen, we will correct when we are wrong, and hopefully we will end this menace. All right.
Did I hear Beatrice say no excavators have gotten missing?
Yes.
Within this heater?
Yes.
So the 33,
they said there was a miscommunication.
There was a miscommunication.
And Abisu has come to clarify.
Where are those 33?
They are in stock. They're still there. I don't know where.
Isn't it alarming that the main equipment that's used for Galamsey seems to be coming in higher numbers in the last 8 months for a government that said it was going to fight? Its predecessor was not fighting Galamsey well, and they are going to fight it. And let me go to page 61 of the NDC's abridged manifesto. And I quote, it's under promote responsible mining for sustainable development. And this is the opening statement, and I quote, the next NDC government will wage a ruthless war against illegal mining menace and roll out an aggressive program to reclaim our polluted water bodies, degraded lands, and devastated forest reserves. Annie, I don't think the president's demeanor and his responses to the questions with regards to Galamsey, which was one of the key things, or is the key thing that is affecting all of us now, because the water that comes to us, we all don't know where the water is coming from. His demeanor didn't show what they put in their manifesto. Look.
Why? What did you want him to do?
We need, enough of, you see, when a government is so fixated with populism, they tend to do a lot of PR. But PR doesn't pay the bills. We need plans, not PR. I'm not talking nice. We need plans. And we want to see the ruthless war. When you ask Beatrice about community mining, government is a continuum. And I've always said that no government, no president comes with his own money. It's the people's money. Community mining was instituted with the people's money. And you don't care what it was. You don't care the stage it's got into.
That's nonsense. Because I'm not there. Because I'm not there.
In the run-up to election, I was sitting where she was sitting. I was trying to explain the livelihood program. It was ridiculed. But those were the measures put in place. Mercury was becoming an issue. Chemicals was becoming an issue. It is still an issue. No, I'm talking then. Then I'll come to now. Gold catchers were brought in. How far with those innovations or those institutions? You see, when you promise the moon and you get the power, or you are given the opportunity to come and serve, and you decide that I promised the moon, but I'm going to deliver starlights. This is where we get to. Today, the same people who are bringing bottles of water, calling it Milo, and adding tea bread to it. Today, if they care to know, then it was Milo. It was light Milo. Today, you know the term Milo Mpampa. The Milo that is almost like so thick that it's almost like porridge. That is what our water bodies have become.
But you said government is a continuum.
No, but they don't care.
No, I'm saying
they don't care. What are they doing to do it? And you see,
if the distraction in the past is continuing, you expect to see the situation worse.
If you are giving us plans, you are giving us plans with timelines. None of the things that His Excellency the President said, there was no timeline to any of them. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was no timeline to all those things. So it was just rhetoric. Galamsey, and let me go to, Beatrice mentioned Erastus. And I want to use him as my reference because he put up a post that I totally identify with. And once I'm done with that post, I think everything he said there was, for me, I identify him. And I'm using his write-up because he is the go-to person, because there was no discussion on Galamsey then that they didn't have him as a reference, because he made himself the citizen who was worrying about Galamsey and was drawing the attention of, and let me read, that was 4 days ago, after the president's thing, meet the press. The president did. He watered down on a very precarious situation, just as he had done always. His posture reflected complicity on the infractions on the ground, whittling down a decapitation to a broken arm. I totally disagree with him on the withdrawal of the IGP's men and accusing them of not knowing the difference between legal small-scale mining and illegal miners. That is a total fallacy. It shows that it's either the president was ill-briefed about, and this is the president, Beatrice said cannot be deceived.
Hold on, whose write-up is that?
Erastus. Okay. It's on his Facebook page 4 days ago. President was ill-briefed, and note that this is the president that Beatrice said cannot be deceived about the situation in the ground, or he was totally clueless of what happens on the ground. Or maybe he's also joining the bandwagon of deliberate spinning of falsehoods in a bid to give the dog a bad name to hang it. I challenge the president to name a single licensed small-scale mining entity that is mining responsibly on the ground. What is a small-scale mining entity doing in a forest reserve when the laws does not give permits to mine in the forest reserve? Who licensed small-scale mining companies to be mining inches away from Rivers Pra, Ankobra, Tano, Ofin, Ayensu, Bia, Ofin, and the others, where the tax force arrested them? In a normal civilized society, is it not the police that is clothed with the law enforcement? How different are nature crimes from the armed robberies that the police fight? When the president says every policeman gets up and goes after illegal miners, that's in quotes. By implication, is he saying that nature crimes are no longer crimes at the local level unless identified by the NIMOs? Is the president respectfully asking local police to stay away from nature crimes, and for that matter, Galamsey, just like it happened under the previous administration? It's equally disappointing to hear the president say we can't be chasing after them when we have not provided them alternatives. Excuse me to say, it's just telling armed robbers, money doublers, and scammers to continue with criminal activities until government finds employment for them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is not the president of a country that has more than 60% of its water bodies polluted and laden with heavy metals. This is not the president of a country with 44 of its forest reserves attacked in a space of 8 years. This is not the president of a country whose towns and villages and highways have been taken over by haphazard illegal mining. This is not the president of a country whose muddy waters are polluted the sea. This is not the president. So he goes on and on and on and on. Then in the last but one paragraph, my worry is that we have a citizenry so divided with partisan politics that reasons like blind,
he's worried about
how their very existence. I mean, that is what we're preaching when we're in government, that it's a collective fight. It is not partisan. Today we are facing it. Then let's go to his post 2 hours ago on an update, because Beatrice mentioned the forest reserve that have been retrieved. Last week, I warned that illegal miners are going back to the areas where the IGP's men cleared Galamsey. As we speak, these forest reserves have been retaken at Chumampunia district, Ashanti region, and all those things. And after listening to the president, if I was the IGP, I'll be the most demoralized person in this country with his team. Are we to believe that police don't do any due diligence before they go on missions? Is that what we are being told? That the police just gets up, gets into areas and run around like headless chickens? That a police with their training...
You say you have some small sergeant somewhere misbehaving.
You know, it's sad.
The president didn't do well with that comment at all.
The police were thrown under the bus. These are the people supposed to be in charge of internal security. So if I was the IGP and the head of police, the various departments, I'll be very demoralized.
No, but I mean, the police
that we don't know what
the police
about,
even have
these are the people supposed to protect us.
The police even have internal rules where you had the police assaulting a journalist in our recent by-election we attended. Where did we go?
Akwetia?
No,
it wasn't a by-election. The rerun of 19 police station at
Ablekumanov.
Yes.
We were told that the police was being handled using internal remedies, you know. We know that within the police service, if a police officer carries out something, an act that is wrong, they are punished. So why not punish police officers that breach their own rules?
Is that the end of the
but
day?
Rather take them out of
police,
the system.
Is that the police became the weakest link?
You know, as you are
because
with
of
her,
the way
there, she's not calling you out for asking her questions.
Stereotype.
I know that one. I'm not even expecting to be patted in the back.
It's like the way we've stereotyped police. They become the weaker link, so anybody can just throw them under the bus. Okay. But I think it was just a bit too much for the president to do that. And I was sad. And I think every well-meaning citizen and every well-meaning police officer should be worried about this. Because if you are the one supposed to be protecting us, and you don't do any due diligence before going into this, how are we supposed to trust that whatever you're doing, is that giving inclination or giving, justifying some of the things that people are being arrested for saying about the IGP? I doubt it. But I think that if we really want to do this, which we all need to do, it's a collective fight, and I'll never stop saying that. But like you always say, what's your favorite statement again? You have the statement
Leadership
that you
is
use.
cause.
I can't hear you, please.
Leadership is cause.
Exactly. So the head of
everything
state,
else
I believe,
is a effect.
must take the leadership and not throw.
It's her favorite,
his most,
it was not her favorite in 2024.
His
but
most closest ally, which is the police, that is responsible for our internal security. And now, Erastus, with his post 2 hours ago, is vindicating the IGP and his men, which is which. I think these things need to be dealt with.
So the same
properly.
post, Beatrice, what do you want to say about this post?
So I'm saying that this is Erastus after he posted what Loretta copiously read on the show.
Okay.
Saying that Nzima, Naimos and the Nzima East Blue Water Guards have been busy. And I wish you could scroll up for people to see how they went on the water body, and they were actually destroying and burning down some of these things that have been built.
Okay.
So you can't say, and that's what I'm saying that, and I'm happy Loretta is quoting Erastus, because under your government, Erastus could not talk. He was not allowed to talk. His life was under threat. We have been working with Erastus. He makes the comments you read, and then we go into it, because he's like an informant. It shows you a government that is committed to fighting it. In the course of the fighting it, you may have your issues. We are happy to hear you. You may say that we could have taken a different approach. We are happy to discuss those approaches. But I'm saying that do not come and sit here as a member of the MPP and create the impression that the NDC has failed. You couldn't fight Galamsey in 8 years. You couldn't even seize 440 excavators. You could not even tell us the whereabouts of these things. Your own Minister of Environment, who was concerned about the environment, was practically punished. Why? Because he spoke up against the ills of society. In the end, we were told that party hiasika. The NDC party hiasika. But the last time when national executives' names were mentioned without any evidence, the president says that I will not shield you, go and respect. And I was following the president everywhere on the campaign. And one of the things he kept saying was that if you were an NDC member and you have a brush with the law, he would not intervene.
Okay.
He will not be a clearing agent. He will not claim. So I'm saying that, as a listening, you spoke obviously. Let me land. Yeah, so as a listening government, in our course to fight this menace, citizens will have what their opinions may be. Citizens can criticize what the government is doing. A lot of people can say that I think you should use this approach. And Ken Ashibe and a number of civil society activists have been speaking. In fact, it is some of those advocacies that is leading to the amendment of the Minerals and Mining Act and the revocation of the LI. So we hear people when we speak. In your time, you said that was not even the case.
Okay.
So,
okay.
In concluding, the point has to be made that the NDC and the MPP are not the same.
Okay.
That point has to be made.
Her fixation, she's the same person that's
fixated on everybody.
Same thing, she's the same person that said the past is not the present. And we've all established that Ghanaians were not happy with a lot of things that the New Patriotic Party government did and said NDC come. So if all your reset is just to be referring to the past, then we
are not referring to me. I'm not referring to you.
Like I said, look, if they want to clothe their governance in populism and PR, like Beatrice is doing here, all she does is she's never told us one thing. I mentioned about no timelines being given for any of the things the president mentioned. She hasn't been able to say any of that. No timelines.
Then you don't understand how the Galamsey works.
You are referring
so
to.
we should give you timelines for season excavated or reclaiming
to
forest.
Please. You are referring to Erastus. This is the same person who has made a post 2 hours ago vindicating the IGP and his men that the president said didn't know what they were doing.
That's
so
what the president
are you
said.
fighting
and you
it?
shouldn't allow
The president, or you are pretending to be fighting.
No, you shouldn't allow.
There's one
Laura
thing,
to
and you see,
misquote.
go back to their manifesto. If this is a rootless war, then I think the meaning of rootless has been changed.
So there's an update. I'm sorry. So there's an update on the Nsawam Accra lane of the Ofankor to Nsawam road construction project. We're told that it's been temporarily opened, and we know that road has been in the news for quite some time now, causing a lot of drivers the trouble. It's literally moved the president, into the area to check the updates with the minister in charge of the sector. And crediting Ameyal TV, we have a video of that, so we may want to see the temporary opening. Of it says the Nsawam Accra lane of the Ofankor to Nsawam Road, right?
And tomorrow too, President Mahama will be cutting sword for at Afienya and Ho. I'm not so good with names of towns, but it shows you the commitment
Sure, it
of
was
the
an MPP town. Should have known the name.
Is that official sword cutting for the Big Push Road project?
Yes.
It's very good with MPP names.
But the Afienya Road,
when it comes to the NDC,
Afienya Road, I use that place a lot because my parents-in-laws they stay there, and it's a very terrible.
Your who?
Parents-in-laws.
Yes,
your
So that's if you have good mother and father-in-law. they are now become your parents.
Oh wow!
So I use that road a lot, and I'm very excited about that road. I have a lawyer who stays there, and she practically can't practice and come to court again. So we laugh at her and call her an armchair lawyer because of how bad that road is. So, and that is good news for road users. For those who also go to Ho, almost every weekend, I think that road also gets very choked. And this is the commitment we are promising. The NDC government may not be perfect. We don't seek perfection. But we are saying that within the limited resources we have, within an economy that has gone through a debt exchange in a way that people bragged about it, in an economy where everything was bad, we would utilize resources in the way that will make the lives of people comfortable. We would utilize resources that will give, and when roads like this start, masons will get jobs, carpenters will get jobs, laborers will get jobs. The rippling effects on people who sell food, the rippling effect on when people have money, they tend to spend more. And so we are hoping that some of these things, together with our commitment to make sure that we make the country better than we came to meet it. And this is not PR. This is our understanding of how governance should be. It is not you giving contracts to the president's daughter.
It's quite exciting to see this develop.
This how
it is crazy. What we saw in the past.
Yes. This road was started by the previous administration.
We will continue.
And they are continuing. That's the same.
Did you do the same?
That's the same.
Did you do that?
There are a number of
Did
roads
you do that?
Please.
Did you touch Saglem?
Please.
Did you do that?
That's how it should be.
They touched Saglem. Yeah, they were selling it. That's the touching.
You know,
that's what
I'm
the NDP and the NDP.
Say they didn't touch it.
Come on, the fact that
politically
can I have my?
We are not the same.
You are hot. I understand.
Hot.
The same commitment should also be applied to the fight against Galamsey with regards to the measures that were put in place to give alternative livelihoods, to get around the mercury and all those things.
Because you
that
were
is how it should be.
You were seated here not long ago, and you were justifying and talking about
what?
Project
When I said Galamsey was a collective fight, didn't you use your favorite statement? You are sitting here ridiculing the livelihood program. Today you are saying you can't catch people, or you can't arrest people because they don't have alternative.
Okay.
When there was an alternative livelihood program that you are ridiculing.
So Sam Kelly, Sam Aku Kelly,
are you connected or Baomi?
You made me stop reading my.
No. You see, let's not reduce this to a joke.
I will read my message. And
you should be proud
with a galamsey.
As a member of the NPP,
hold on. I'll let you. But listen, with the galamsey bruhaha, I think the narrative shouldn't be about the number of actions taken so far, but rather the overall results achieved.
And I agree.
And I wonder why the government is finding it difficult to declare, for example, our rivers as a no-go area for illegal mining, at least.
So that is the forest
reserve. Even in states of no.
I didn't know Beatrice could start. That's what
river bodies. River bodies. Let me finish. Our rivers are no-go areas for illegal mining, and in my humble estimation, 8 months in office is long enough to see our rivers free of high turbidity and debris. So concentrating efforts is the way to go. Asamako Kelly from East Legon. And then he also says that, please let Larato also know that resetting also means stopping people from doing and saying what's wrong. If Abronia is not called to account for this reckless statement, how do we stop irresponsible speech? It is a shame that instead of condemning outrightly what's glaringly distasteful, some people are posturing that Abronia did nothing wrong and therefore shouldn't be interrogated. Truth is that is really bleeding, you say. Great submission by Larato, but may Allah bless her abundantly. My sister Beatrice is now in government, so she should stop lamenting and blaming the past government and focus on solving problems. Galamsey is now fighting President Mahama and his NDC. Now the NDC executive is allegedly also, engaging Galamsey 24 hours. That's an allegation. I can't prove that. But what was that a 24-hour economy promised during the campaign? Because this Galamsey sites are the only sectors running 24-hour economy. And Very Master Planner is the one that sent this in. Larato, you said you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, she asked me a question. And
she doesn't have any point to make.
I'll answer and ask her a question. She asked me if DMB or what.
No, I didn't say that. I said, are you connected or Baumia?
Yes, I'm unapologetically Baumia. But let me ask you a question.
So what you see on the screen,
Annie.
Yeah, what you see.
Let me ask her: is she working with Julius or marching with the general, or dancing with Gandu?
None of them have declared
insulting ourselves.
Insulting.
We are very
simple. No, but none of them have declared that they are running for presidency.
I thought there was a video of the general.
They've not declared they are running for presidency. None of them have.
Watch well.
He hasn't.
Don't pick your
none of them have.
So, but my own brother Musa Dankwa. Yeah, I find it difficult mentioning the name like that because that's my father's name.
Oh,
Alaji.
Please.
Alaji has come out with 12 names.
Yes.
He said none
Some
of them he has denied.
No.
We
can't even tell us
Okay, so what you saw on the screen is the short cutting for the Big Push Road project. Okay, that's coming up tomorrow. Volta Regional Coordinating Council is the one leading this project as well. So we're looking forward to the Big Push is one of the biggest policies by the government. So we'll be following through with that and see how that goes. It's tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. The venue is Titrinu in Ho. Ladies, I'm grateful for your time this morning. Thank you for coming through. Right, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we come your way again with Good Morning Ghana. Thanks for watching.